As former President Donald Trump faces growing resistance to his latest massive spending proposal, the pressure is coming from more than just lawmakers. A fresh wave of criticism is coming from unexpected places, including a renewed clash with Elon Musk, who just made a bold political statement that could reshape the conversation around Trump's agenda. But before diving into Musk's latest political bombshell, the spotlight turned to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who didn't hold back when discussing what this proposed legislation would mean for his state. Governor Beshear expressed deep concern about the bill's potential consequences for healthcare in Kentucky, particularly in rural areas. He pointed out that the plan would leave around 200,000 Kentuckians without health coverage and put about 20,000 healthcare workers out of a job. Additionally, dozens of hospitals, many of which serve as economic anchors in small communities, would likely be forced to close. Bashir made it clear Kentuckians won't just move on from that kind of loss. He also criticized the bill's failure to meet its own economic goals, noting that it would add over $3 trillion to the national debt without offering solutions that truly help working Americans. Rather than reducing financial strain, Bashir argued the proposal would do long-term damage while offering nothing in return. Interestingly, he acknowledged that even Republican Senator Rand Paul seemed to recognize some of this bill's flaws. While bipartisan agreement is rare, Bashir emphasized that his issue transcends party lines and affects all Americans. Beyond just opposing bad policy, Bashir made the case for proactive leadership. He highlighted the importance of Democrats not only resisting Trump's agenda, but offering a compelling alternative. Under his leadership, Kentucky has attracted over $35 billion in private investments and achieved record low unemployment. He also is proud of restoring voting rights to hundreds of thousands of residents, proving that the real progress can be made with bold, values-driven governance. He explained that Democrats must do more than criticize. They need to offer a vision that helps everyday people, especially those struggling to make ends meet. Pointing to rising wages and job growth in Kentucky, he said his voters need to know that there are better options than what Trump's economic plan offers. Bashir also addressed the need to protect and expand healthcare access across rather than just slashing programs like Medicaid. He advocated for smart, sustainable reforms that strengthen services for those who need them the most. As Musk entered the conversation with a dramatic call for a new political party to challenge Trump's spending plan, the controversy only deepened. Musk took to X, formerly Twitter, to slam the bill, calling it physically irresponsible and accusing lawmakers, Republicans included, of selling out their values by supporting it. Musk mockingly referred to the current state of government as a one-party system driven by excessive spending and empty promises. He specifically criticized members of the House Freedom Caucus, questioning how they could call themselves physical conservatives while voting for what he described as debt slavery. He even warned that those who supported the bill could face primary challenges in the next election, hinting that he might help fund those opponents. While Musk's concerns are clearly rooted in his own financial interests rather than public welfare, particularly around issues like Medicaid, his comments still reflect a growing fracture within the Republican Party. The bill, in his view, favors outdated industries and threaten innovation, which could harm the future economy more than help it. Bashir, meanwhile, continued to emphasize that the opposition to the bill must be paired with a concrete alternative that benefits working families. He argued that people won't respond to political attacks alone, that they need to see a better path forward. In speaking about values, Bashir also shared a personal example of what principled leadership looks like. He recalled vetoing a bill passed by Kentucky legislator that targeted LGBTQ plus youth. Despite political backlash, he felt it was more important to stand up for vulnerable young people and lead with compassion. He said that even when people disagreed with your decisions, they'll respect you more if they believe you're acting with integrity. He also highlighted the role of faith in guiding his decisions, stating that his beliefs compelled him to show love and support to all children, particularly those marginalized by hateful legislation. Beshear emphasized that conviction and courage are key traits that voters respect. He compared them to past presidents like George W. Bush, who, despite being unpopular on many issues, still won re-election partly because voters knew where he stood. The conversation also touched on the importance of reaching people where they are, especially younger generations who consume news through podcasts, YouTube, and social media. Bashir stressed the need for leaders to enter those spaces authentically, not just to campaign, but to listen and engage meaningfully. He rejected the term youth or young leader as condescending, saying that leadership isn't about age, it's about action and responsibility. He called for Democrats to stop relying on outdated strategies and start embracing the next generation of leaders and voices. Asked which piece of legislation had the most aura or lasting impact on his opinion, Beshear pointed to the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He celebrated the long-awaited funding for projects like the Brent Spence Bridge, which connects northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. For years, traffic congestion plagued the area with no real solutions until the bill finally delivered on a promise that the previous administration couldn't fulfill. Notably, the bridge improvements are being made without tolls, something that he said Kentuckians can be proud of. In closing, Beshear underscored the importance of consistent communication, not just during a campaign season, but year round. He believes leaders should stay connected to the issue people care about, whether they're political or cultural, and never stop engaging with communities.